Lightning weekly podcast.
Talking all things mediumship, spirit and paranormal.
Awaken with Thunder and Lightning. Reignite
the light
in your soul. Good evening, Roger. How are you?
Good evening.
Have you had a fantastic singing week?
Oh, excellent. How about yourself?
I'm great, thank you. You look a bit sucked out. You look like a toes here.
Toes here and everywhere, yes.
So we've done some group healing this week, and Roger got the short end of the straw that I normally get, with pulling or sucking some of the negative out to replenish someone. But it was amusing. I made a smile. But yeah, Maria's got a great idea. Talking about spiritual experiences, strange things that have happened, things that have gone boom in or bang in the night or in the day. Just strange experiences. People that are watching them can share what they've had or send comments in, etc.
I'll tell you one which has happened recently. With the mobile phone. Gone to I put
You're not going to try and make some excuses for something naughty?
No comment. No comment on that one. So I take my phone to bed, set my alarm on my phone, put it next to where I sleep. Half an hour later, Suzanne and I get woken up by a voice coming out of the phone saying, "Hello, Roger." I just woke up and I thought, fabulous. Started chuckling. Suzanne, unfortunately, found it very scary. I started to cry, and I said, "Oh, there's no need to cry about it." But
yeah, I've come across, obviously, lots of people that have initially had a fear that now love it when spirit respond. So where things happen and make them jump. But I was going to ask you, what was your first ever kind of wow for what spirit did? Signs they've given you?
That's an interesting one.
You can ponder on it for a minute if you want. So I was going to say, I can tell you what happened when we went to the pub last week.
Go on,
Took
then.
the little one to go and have a play. They'd already put some Christmas decorations out. Spirit must have thought that was a good time to be putting them out, because there was only one other table that was taken in the kiddie area part, and they were looking the other way. Looking at the menu, I look up, and the Santa that was on this table was hovering in the air. Next minute, it drops to the floor, and the next minute, the tablecloth goes and it's pulled straight off. So you caught Marie caught the tablecloth elements of it, and from, where do I go and tell staff? That's going to be a difficult one to explain, isn't it, Gavin? I was thinking to myself, to Marie, so I don't know, I think I'll just leave them to find it. They sort of walked by and it was like, how did the tablecloth get there? Because then no one had been there, no kids had been there, and it wasn't exactly close to the table. But other things often happen. So now Roger's had a little bit of time. So what was your first wow from spirit?
Well, I don't know if it was my first wow, but be about 20 years ago, I was sat in my front room. I got a punctured lung. Broad daylight, brilliant sunshine outside, so I'm just sat up, just trying to breathe, and I'm focusing on my breathing. And broad daylight in the lounge, I get a full manifestation of a monk.
In your lounge? Is that in your house you're in now?
Yes, in the doorway. So it was a bit of mixture of wow and oh bloody hell. It didn't half make me jump, but it was just a fantastic experience, which has led me to where we are now.
I did a reading, and well, it's a paranormal venue as well, but the Haunted Salon over in Kettering, but I've done a normal reading in there. Coming to the end of the reading, went to pick up my bits to go, and my car keys kind of the chair was leaning backwards. So if anything should have sank, it should have gone into the back of the chair, right, where you sit, where your bum is the furthest point back. But no, they didn't. They came uphill, so to speak, and then hovered for about maybe a second, but a second's a long time when you're seeing something strange, sort of in the air before they dropped to the floor. But when they dropped to the floor, they went diagonally. I went, does that normally happen? I said, I think your dad's just letting you know you're here. I actually think it was probably spirit from the property doing it, but it was like, I can't say that. No, it happens all the time. We have things that happen all the time actually around us. Some of it I kind of forget to say now because it happens so often. We're always getting taps around us, going cooler around us. They're some of the basic things that people can feel. Alexa playing song.
What do you want me to play?
Forgot she was by me. So let me just hit that button so she doesn't respond. That's it. So Alexa talking to us when we've not even said the word. She even told us, asked how all of the supporters were yesterday, I think it was, and she told us basically she was a little bit sketchy. Yeah, I'm feeling a bit sketchy today, said Alexa. We hadn't said Alexa. I think I've heard one of my eldest boys say that word, but didn't mean a lot to me.
Yeah, I've had
so you could have Alexa or the phone playing up, like Roger said, or unlocking. Sorry, Roger, go on.
No, go on, sorry.
No, your turn.
No, I was just going to say I've had exactly the same with Google and Alexa around the house. It just start kicking off and talking about things, and it's like, okay, who's manipulating that then? I'll tell you another experience, which at the time I thought, well, that is weird. Again, sat in the lounge. This is quite late on in the day, and I'm just looking at the fire, whatnot, and next to the fire, on the fireplace, there's like a little cloud of smoke, and then it forms two strands, and then it goes up in a spiral.
Okay.
An interweaving spiral, and I watched it go from ground all the way up and disappear altogether up into the ceiling and go. And I just thought, well, that is absolutely amazing.
But there must have been a few things that they've done that have made you jump. So I can recall, I think I'd said at some point, I've got this spirit, if you're that strong, can you lift my bed covers? But it didn't happen straight away, but probably 3 weeks later it did. I didn't half jump when it wasn't over my legs. And I said, go on then, spirit, if you're that clever, this was what I was developing. I want you to touch my legs, but the duvet's there. But I did feel a hand on my right knee. That made me jump. They can still make me jump now, but there's not a fear with it. I know they can. It's funny, but I'm being dragged at one point on a paranormal thing towards a mirror. They literally manhandled me. I felt them pulling me, the strength. But people don't get to see that most often. That's strong energies. So you might hear about them on the paranormal programs. But come on, Roger, what's made you jump? Terrified you? You've already told us about poor Suzanne getting frightened from your phone. So what's terrified you?
Right. I remember going out to my garage once, opening the door, and I could have swore that there was somebody stood next to me, and I heard them come up, and I just boom. That was quite startling.
I know one of them we weren't impressed about as well, Roger, that was when, during the physical mediumship near the beginning, the spirit decided that to prove they were around, they'd unlock people's cars. I think that happened to you as well. And you'd unlocked it, gone and locked it, come back out, and it was still unlocked.
Well, funnily enough, we're talking about this tonight because I brought Suzanne's father up for his tea, because we have him a couple of times a week. I shut the door, went in the lounge, and I thought, what's going off here? Why am I being pulled back in the hallway? The door had opened itself. Now, it's quite stiff when it gets a little bit of moisture in the air. So,
it's not talking about the spirit, it's talking about the door handle.
Yeah, I'm talking about the door, yes. So you have to put some effort to shut it. So I'd shut it, walked away, thought, well, what's this breeze? I need to go back through there. The door's wide open. And it's like, all right, okay. We're playing games tonight then, are we?
Not had that at home, but I've had that at paranormal locations. We haven't had the front doors and everything open, have we?
I suppose the one which made me jump would be when I was in my late teens, early 20s. I was actually a painter back then, and I was painting inside a spiritualist church. And I've been in there all day. And I wasn't tuned in at that particular time. And I tuned out of it. And yeah, I was just absolutely, oh. So let's put it this way. I was really glad when 6 o'clock came. And
we've had the spiritual church, not quite like that, Roger, where we were in and spirit were tapping on the left-hand side of the wall, which apparently didn't normally happen, but we were in there for a service or a demonstration and just tap, 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 and it's quite loud. So they stood up and said, oh, really sorry, the neighbours on that side, they're getting renovation work. So I mean, that's not, I'm thinking to myself, that wasn't renovation work, that's spirit, show that is you, come and move to the other wall. And next minute you get tap, 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 tap from the other wall. And I just didn't know what to say. I think they went, right, so the next hymn is... But I know we've had some strange things with, I do physical mediumship, and we've been sort of developing that, and that's when we might have had the door open, or they kind of show themselves. I remember one of the funniest that everyone thought was absolutely hilarious. I didn't think it was quite so funny at the time, but I put a brave face on. So it was in the cabinet, which happened to be like we said, physical mediumship is normally kept behind closed doors. It's where spirit can manifest things, they can move things, they can maybe use direct voice, they can manipulate microphones quite often. But we don't just do it where the energies to manipulate stuff around us for people to see. We like the loved ones to try and do stuff around other people. So I guess we've been sitting for it quite a while now, just over a year, online, which a lot of people don't do it online. So I do it near enough every week, try to. 52 weeks in the year, I guess it's done 46, 48 times. Okay, so we've been sitting for it quite a while. It's probably, we were sitting for physical mediumship, that's when the trance started. And wasn't expecting the trance to start. It was purely sitting for physical mediumship. So I'm in this cabinet, which is a toilet tent, just to add image to it for you all. And got a red light on. I've opened the cabinet up so the camera can sort of see me as spirit are coming close, the voice changing, trying to get it set up. I've already brought the energies in, and I've stood up from my seat, trying to make the torch point the right way. Can you see me? Can you see me? To the supporters online. Yes. All of a sudden, I feel energy by me. I'm pushed, which I did show them a clip that did show spirit pushing me, but I'm pushed and I go toppling over in his toilet tent in the living room, knock a vase flying by the electrics. It doesn't go into the electrics. The paint, I've got luminous paint on the side, which, well, it did actually go up on the skirting board. It still glows in the dark now. We've got scented water, and we've got books and stuff that couldn't get wet. They didn't get wet. Literally everything the water shouldn't have touched, it didn't touch. And there's me in a heap outside the tent. I wasn't hurt, but everyone was roaring in laughter. I remember some of the comments from, I've never seen a man mock before. Spirit thought that was hilarious. And that was one of the first times Dexter came around me for guide. So that was physical experience for me being pushed that created a lot of humour. So anyway, could you do that to Roger now, please, Spirit? I'd love to see that.
I remember being woke up one night with what sounded like somebody with lead boots on walking upstairs. Very long and slow. Boom.
They've got an annoying habit with me at the moment, haven't they, Rog? They were on the lives of the supporters. They keep unplugging or stopping my camera working and my mic working.
Yes.
So I have to sort of unplug it and plug it back in. It says the mic isn't there or the camera isn't there. Normally when we're talking about something interesting.
That's very true.
But they've moved it on, so they start doing it to other people now as well.
Yep.
So other people get the issue, not just us. I'm sure, Roger, they messed about with you quite recently. I'm not talking about the seaweed incident.
Oh,
I believe they lobbed some of your crystals, didn't they, from the sofa?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
See, you've forgotten that one. Things happen around you so often.
It's not the first time that they've done that as well. First time they did that, they actually broke a point off one of the travellers they've got. But I think it works better now.
Good.
It's like
They're quite heavy crystals that they moved, weren't they, from you?
Yes.
There's no point showing us, mate. It's a podcast.
Keep talking. I've got to do something before.
So one of the things that the physical mediumship that we do, people will leave trigger items at home, which then are set up for spirit to move them. You could try this at home yourself. One thing I will point out is obviously we are raising the energy and getting the physical medium, we're getting the energy raised around me to take around the loved ones in order to try and facilitate that happening. But it doesn't mean it can't happen for you. So you could go to bed as long as you raise the energy first, which could be from some music, or you might have had a load of guests around, been laughing, joking, and whatever. You hope that'd be a great night to put the trigger items out. Spirit will be able to feed off that energy in the room. But when I say play music, I don't mean with headphones. It obviously needs to put the vibration into the room. Put some trigger items around. Draw around a key. Draw around a pen, as long as you've got another pen. Put a coin down. If you put a coin down, try a silver coin, try a copper coin, try a pound coin. And draw around them and see whether they've moved then in the morning. Or even when you've been sat there, you might go and check them afterwards and they've moved. There's lots of things you can do for trigger items, but some of them have used quite heavy objects that they've put on there and then they have moved and they've gone to check. And that's an activity, like I said, you can do at home.
Yeah, I've set mine 1 or 2 challenges like that, and quite substantial pieces of crystal have moved.
I've kept telling them for a long time now that I want them to move me while I'm on the camera. I'm sure one day it's going to happen.
Bit of levitation, Gavin. Excellent.
No, I want to go to a different room. I thought we'd go to the port. I'm there and I'm not. Now I'm back. Oh, that's a funny one that has happened. So, climbed a tree, and this was in a paranormal forest, or a forest that got paranormal activity. It was meant to be the witch's tree. Witches were meant to be hidden inside of it. It was meant to be hollow. So we climbed up this tree. I had a photo taken. It wasn't my photo. One of the supporters took the photo. I was there with another chap. He's there on the first photo. He's there on the second photo. He's not there on the third photo, and he's there on the fourth. Spirit had completely wiped him out of the photo. And you could see straight through. There wasn't anything like, oh, there's a blank blob so that you could see he was missing. It was like you could clearly see through him as if he wasn't there. Don't know how they did that. That still fascinates me.
That's fascinating.
I pulled my key out of the door, and I've seen it go 3 foot forward and about 6 foot to the right and dropped 7 foot, 8 foot away from the door. But they're typically shadows and things like that. So I'm working with spirit all the time. Roger's an awful lot with them as well. So the energy's always there for them to use. But if we ask them to do something, sometimes they can be awkward and they don't do it. So when we're not expecting it normally.
The one thing what they did recently was a little table I have with the laptop, and if I'm doing healing or whatever, I'll usually have some crystals on the table. Probably 2 or 3 minutes in succession, all the crystals on the table just flew off. And I'm talking them being moved 3 foot. And then thought, oh, how's that just flown there? Right, pick it up, put it back. And then 2 minutes later, it had happened again.
That's amazing. Thinking back, one of the first that I was wowed by, I was somewhere by the doctor's surgery, and I was really drawn to take a picture. I took a picture and I got a glowing man stood outside the doctor's surgery, and that wowed me. But initially I was wowed with an SLS camera when that came out, the Stickman. It was like you get them to lift their left arm up and wave and dance in front of you and things like that, and interact with you while they're on the Stickman form. And I've come across some rude spirits and things with that as well, but I've been fascinated. I used to be really fascinated by that. It used to wow me how things have moved on with them, like the keys and. But yeah, I've had my phone hidden when I've been on location and gone to come out. Marie, not happy as she sat in the car. Where is it? You had it a minute ago. So go and keep looking in the property, the haunted location. It's not there. It's not there. I know I had it there. And I'd locked up the upstairs of it. So anyway, I think, well, I'm going to go and have a look at the rest of the building. There it is on the stairs. I'd locked up. I'd already put the doors closed. It shouldn't have been there. That particular location, 2 or 3 times I've messed about with things. It's quite a strong location.
I get that with my glasses. I can put them down next to the computer, go do what I need to do, come back. Right, okay.
Where are they normally? Or do you disappear and then you come back and they're there again?
They can disappear and I can look all over. I think, well, I had them. I know I had them. Think, right, I'll get an old pair out. By the time I've got them, they appear.
Normally where you've already looked?
Yes.
And they do that with a light switch for the bulbs. And Marie can come and look as well. It's like, where is it? Where is it? Turn around, literally then turn back and it's there right in front.
They have a bit of fun trying to get my attention every day by walking past the side door. Because I sit parallel to it, I can see it in my peripheral.
So you can often see a lot.
I can normally see somebody there and they go, ooh.
I think we'd probably feel a bit uncomfortable if there wasn't anything in the bedroom at night time.
Well, I'm used to side at
shadow
bed.
Walking by, whatever, it's like higher.
I'm used to side at bed going down, as if somebody sat on it.
Kev, where are you going with this one, Rog?
That's as far as I'm going. So I'll be in bed asleep, and then all of a sudden I will feel somebody will just come and sit next to me on the bed. You think it's only going to be a slight thing? It's as if there's a person there sat down, but you can feel the weight on the mattress, and he's like, okay.
I think it was my very first reading away from home. Pretty sure it was. When someone else's, and well, 10 minutes into the reading, it was like, I can't remember if it was a penny or a 20p. Suddenly comes ding, but they saw it and sort of hit me and landed on the floor. I'm like, where did that come from? And so they give me an report for this reading, which I thought was rather special. But stupid me, I left there with the coin. I was like, well, it must be yours. And I was like, come on. Marie's like, that was an report. You should have kept that. Did you look at what date or year it was on? It was like, no. You should have done. It might have been significant. It might have your date of birth or something on it. I was like, oh, yeah, I didn't think of that.
In my younger days, I used to live in a council estate in Peterborough, and there were 3 bedrooms in this property. I'm 5, 6 at this point. Never used to go into middle bedroom because it felt cold. Always felt cold in there. I always noticed that the cat, we had a Siamese cat then, wouldn't go anywhere near that room.
Did you have its twin?
My grandma.
Right, throw Roger off.
Yeah. My grandma and granddad came, and he was woken up in the middle of the night with an airman in mask. And
poor granddad, that'd have frightened me.
Just sat on bed staring at him. And all I remember hearing is, what? What the bloody hell?
Yeah. I've got, when I finally come to, it's like, come to, and there's spirit talking through me to Marie, and I'm suddenly aware, like, what's going on here? I was asleep. She's having a full-blown conversation with guides. Well, I was like, who gave permission here, lads? I think Jane went, oh, I did.
Good fun. Can you remember your first experience?
As an adult later in life or as a child?
The child. There's one which always stands out to me, and it used to happen again and again and again.
It always happened to... My dad had a house which had been a naughty boy's home as well. And the cellar there was a back staircase as well, but the cellar there, no one liked going down there. If it was dark, normally you'd go to it and try and turn the light on, and it normally wouldn't work. But you'd come back the next day and it'd work in the morning. Like when it was light, it'd work. So Dad don't think he'd go down there unless he was desperate for getting something or whatever was in there. He wouldn't go down there. But he realised I didn't seem to care, so he'd like, Gav, can you go and get... That was probably the first time that I did get properly pushed. I was like... I think I reacted with, and pushed them kind of back. I was like, oh, well... I didn't really think much of it. It's more later in life that I could think back and think, okay, because I was like, well, you do that, I'm going to do it to you. But I didn't actually... I must have believed it back then, and I kind of lost the belief or something. But, yeah, I always felt watched. I'm sure I'd get a little bit of a push. And I kind of, I suppose, wasn't bothered to wind them up. I was thinking, well, it's winding them up more than me.
Yeah.
Getting down here, and then I was kind of left alone. But then the next person that went down it normally would get a seriously big push.
Hey, dear.
It's not my stepmom. So that would have been the first experience. What's that? Yep.
Believe.
That's the question.
There's two what have sprung to mind. The first one is when I was a child, I used to go to sleep and I would go upwards in the spiral and leave my body. And
Okay.
I used to be able to, I used to do that every night at one point. But I could spiral upwards or I could spiral downwards and leave the body.
Yeah, Maria had something similar where she'd used to be above her body.
So it wasn't just that straightforward motion of just lifting out. It was always in a spiral.
Funny is, I'm doing like the astral projection, even through my viewing to an extent. That's what I used to have to do, sort of pull myself out and see the body. Now it's almost like I'm like, boom, I'm there. It's like a jet rocket. So I don't actually particularly see myself now. I see myself when I'm in the trance. I can be wandering around myself and looking at myself. But even now, I seem to go wandering off and just go quiet. I don't know quite where they put me. I was more aware in the past. But yeah, what was your second experience then, Rog?
The one which made me freak out a little bit, I would be in my early 20s. I was more interested in girls and other things at that particular time. We've been to a place called Haddon Hall, which I think it's in Derbyshire, near Chatsworth. Yeah. They've got, I think it's a lot older than Chatsworth, and it goes back a long, long way. And I just remember going down this hallway, what looked like it had got a vaulted ceiling. And it's all intricate plaster carving. And we're walking down, and I touched the wall. At one point, I just put my hand, palm out, flat on plaster. Next thing, I'm taken back, 500 years? Well, 500 years. I can smell fires. It's choky with smoke. I can see blokes in look like cavaliers, and they're smoking, and they're talking about revolution. And I just think, whoa, what's all this then? And I just said to a friend at that time, I just says, well, you won't believe that. Wow. A bit freaked out by it. I says, come on, I think it's time. We'll have to take calf now. Well, we'll go and get something to drink.
It's a great way as well when you're picking bits up like that. But you think you're going crazy as well, don't you? You don't know whether to tell anyone or not.
Well, that's what I just thought. I just thought, well, what the heck's going on here?
Who could I tell and ask? That often happens with you don't know whether to say or whatever to start with. It's like, right, I better keep that one quiet to myself. They're going to lock me up.
So as I
I've got the
said,
certificates. It's like, no, you can't touch me. Look at all them. I'm qualified.
yeah, I know when we do a practical mediumship with Gavin, there's a clock in the hallway, which looks like a station clock. I can guarantee I'll need to replace batteries once a month on that, and they should last at least 6-8 months.
Where's that in your house?
In the hallway,
Upstairs.
downstairs, and the timings alter as well.
Do you always look at the timings when you spot it? Is the time significant?
I used to, and I don't know. I'll just think, okay. It's just known.
We've had alarms go off and things when we've not been expecting them, haven't we, as well? When everyone's gone, I didn't set the alarm. Well, go on.
The Bose in here, where I'm sat now.
The what? Sorry, my friend?
It's a Bose soundwave system.
So yeah.
A bit of a hi-fi system.
Yeah.
So the hi-fi system will start kicking off and playing at full volume about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Spirit, can you do that for the 5 nights on the trot, please?
So
a bit of heavy metal or something that Roger won't like.
It's quite close to the neighbours. It's like, oh, bloody hell.
So you haven't had it where they put a load of marbles at the bottom of your stairs then when you've come running down to turn it off?
No, not yet.
Oh, I shouldn't give them ideas. Hide the remote, Spirit. I mean, oops. Make sure it's on show for him. Some of the signs that all of you can look out for at home to know they're around. Batteries, probably number one. Batteries draining, like Roger said with his clock. The batteries can go much quicker than they thought. Your mobile phone batteries, the batteries in your devices that are around you. You might find, hang on a sec, when I go out, my batteries last a lot longer than when I'm at home, and I'm using it more when I'm out. They can drain the batteries. That's how they get energy. Cold spots, often for some reason outside, on the landings, often in front of the bathroom, the common bathroom. It's typical. Okay, because you feel the cold spot there. Hot spots, tingles on your neck or on your arm, especially when you're sensitive and maybe you're in bed and you can feel the inside of your arm as if someone's touching you. Your hairs are stood on end for no reason, only in one place. But as well, you can catch things out the corner of your eye. Your TV or stereo playing up, the TV going off when you're watching it, the Wi-Fi being interrupted. Alexa going off and doing strange things and answering questions you've not asked. Taps, if you've got good hearing. Taps, people expect. That can happen, but you're more likely to hear a noise. They're joining in conversations. Well, sometimes we have loud taps. Joining in conversations with us like that, so they sort of give an applaud by tapping. Or things moving, like Roger's glasses. Kids' toys. You know you've turned them off, and it's often people have. I know I turned it off because it had already gone off once. Now I go upstairs and then it goes off again. Because actually had the switch turned back on, or the switch is off and it carries on going. I've actually had that happen once with it was a paranormal teddy that we've got, and I turned the switch off when I was collecting the teddy, and I was quite a way away from everyone else. And the teddy's still going with its alarm as I'm trying to walk back out of this theatre. And it was off. I couldn't get the batteries out to try and do it that way because it needed a screwdriver. But I was chuckling, but also a very bit nervous while it was still going off. But the kids' toys, they like to play with the kids' toys. They make them go off, make sounds. You might find that on conversations on the phone, people say, "What did you just say? I thought I heard someone say something." And if it's happening more than once, then spirit are actually talking through your phone. Music boxes and things like that going off. Clocks changing time. Photos appearing or moving. Pictures tilting. Come on, Roger, have I left you any examples?
No, you've taken quite a lot of them.
I've left you one of your favourite subjects.
crystals moving, disappearing for days on end, and you think, hang on, where's that gone? And then they crop up a couple of days later in a place where you would never dream.
Could be even longer than that later. Yeah. There could be a couple of reasons for that, isn't it? One, to let spirit know that you're there. I guess the other would be to, when maybe you don't need that crystal around you and you'd be using it when you shouldn't, or you don't need that energy, or it's full and absorbed all the negativity you can take, then it's not likely to come back though.
That's very true. That's very true. I've got another
unlocking cars, Roger said earlier as well, but that wouldn't necessarily be a common.
I've got another experience for you. Are you interested?
Yeah.
Working in York. I'm working in quite an old building, what looks like the semicircular building in Bath. It's in St Leonard's Place in York, and I'm working on the top floor. So you're in the roof space, and I'm in this meeting. I'm at the head of the table, and there's there's 4 other people in this room, and they're discussing things, and all of a sudden, to my left is an open door, and I kept getting distracted, and I thought, well, there's something there. And what happened, or kept happening, was somebody was physically tugging my shirt.
It doesn't happen to everyone every day. How often have my shirt pulled, or t-shirt? I made me jump when that first happened.
Well, I wouldn't have thought so. It was a little girl wanting to play. A little child wanting to play, saying, come on, come on, come on. It was
So that was York?
That was in York. I've also been in one building in York, because I used to get there for about 6:30, 7:15 in the morning, and I'll be sat there and you could hear typists, the old-fashioned typewriters. No typewriters. It used to be a bank, this building, so that's what you were hearing. You were picking up and things like that. Another one, I've had a bloke in a grey suit stood next to me, right on the peripheral, and I've just thought, right, don't know who you are, but hello. What are you doing here? Doesn't say anything, just stands there.
That's funny. Yeah, why only one building in York? Were you barred from all the others? You got me a bit concerned. But no, York, you said earlier about the childhood memories. York, going there as a kid, I knew my way around right at the back of my hand. I don't know whether that's actually definitely paranormal, but spirits, I could see them. I knew where Romans were walking and things like that. I do remember seeing things, and I turned around and said, that castle's got blood running down its walls. And apparently that was a local legend. It wasn't all over the walls, all around it, but there was blood running down, like from the long drop, running down the wall. There was blood running down the wall from the long drop. So I could say, that long drop's got blood. Why is there blood on the wall? And Dad was like, there's nothing there. Brother was like, there's nothing there. And some of the locals were like, it's this local legend. It's something about blood coming down the walls of the castle.
Is that Cliffords Tower?
In York, where they parked the car at the time.
I bet that's Cliffords Tower. It's like a circular keep.
Yeah, like a keep.
Cliffords Tower. The legend of Cliffords Tower. I can't remember it, but it's to do with Jews.
We've got a story from memory of them, some of them being locked in and no food going in there. I don't know the reason about the blood. I can't remember.
Well, they couldn't get out, and they got no food, so I think they ended up killing each other to prevent them being lynched by the mobs outside for whatever reason. That I don't know how right or wrong that is, but there is a legend with Cliffords Tower which you need to look at. I
will do. Anyone else can look that up as well. So there's some of our experiences. Like we said, some of the signs that you can have and get. You can ask for signs and try and wait for them yourself. Ask for spirit to show you stuff. But you'll often find as well, you might get adverts Well, I often get people saying they've come for readings. I saw your advert on Google. I'm like, I haven't got an advert on Google. I haven't got one running. But you have. I kept seeing it. I've seen it 3 days on the trot. Or on Facebook. It's on the, the column on the right where all the adverts are. So I'm not advertising. I'm glad you saw it there. Spirit manipulating, wanting them to come for the reading. I'm like, I have not advertised on there. That's happened quite a few times. I still get it now. And one of the strangest ones was, I saw your advert on the lamppost. And I was like, where? And I'm like, blah, 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 in America. I was like, what? Yeah, your advert, you're on 3 or 4 on the lamppost. I was like, what? I'm trying to remember what that was. And I got loads, ended up with loads of, I've got quite a few followers from that particular area in America. I don't think I'm going to see it. Somewhere near Texas. It wasn't Texas, though. Charlotte or something like that. I can't remember. But I was like, lampposts. Well, that's so kind of someone to take my picture and my thingy and stick me on lampposts. That one was like, seriously? I'm like, yeah. I've stuck my picture on that lamppost in the UK. I don't know what kind of offers I'd get with the phone calls. Pretty sure it wouldn't be mediumship. But yeah, adverts popping up in different places. But you might also end up with things ending up in your shopping basket that might be relevant to a loved one that you didn't add. And if you're developing, that is definitely something that can happen. But ask for a sign in the clouds. Sit and then kind of wait for it. Or you might find a sign you keep seeing numbers. They can manipulate more than you think. You might get in the car, every time you get in the car, the same song's playing. Turn to a different radio station, the same song's playing. It's like, well, that's not a coincidence. Coincidences aren't coincidences.
Yeah, that's happened a few times.
Intention, faith, belief. If you're lacking the faith of the belief, that kills the energy. You only need one person on a paranormal event that does that and it's gone.
Yeah, that's very true. I've been there and seen that. I went to a hall in Bradford. We went into this room and it was obvious that the butler of the house was effeminate. He was gay.
Yeah.
And we all
Yes, just sorry you had to go to Bradford. It's what he just said to me as well.
We brought him through, and then somebody says, "Bloody wolf," into the room, and rightly so. He just took offence and said, "Right, bugger you then," and walked off. Won't come back. You might see something in the mirror, for example.
Remember what we said. Trigger items, if you're wanting to see. If you're really wanting things to happen, come and try to support us. So, Gavin supporters, we do physical mediumship all the time. Try to join for a month, see what it's like, see whether you enjoy it, if you wanted to feel your loved ones around. There are methods for you to get yeses and nos, not just feel them. Just remember, if you go looking for spirit, you'll attract the spirit. Just like any manifestation process. So just be careful what you're asking for, to ask for your loved ones, not just asking for any old spirit. So, like you could end up with a lot around you then. So you just want your loved ones, they're the ones you wanted to communicate with. Just put that intention out there. And remember, speak to them out loud or speak to them in your mind. Speak out loud can give and raise the vibration for them to use to try and give you that answer, unless there's already a high vibration around you. So what's the last thing you'd like to throw in, Rog? So I'm saying good night from him tonight.
And it's a good night from me.
Good night, all of you. Lots of love.
That's out.
Tickety boo, top, and tickety boo.